what happens is when these things go to sleep, when they wake up, there's a mega move. And so that's the question, is which way is it?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Daily Crypto. We are back with another video, and this time we are joined by Gareth Soloway. But before we get started with the interview, let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index for today. As of recording this video, it is sitting at 34, slightly better than yesterday's 30. Currently Bitcoin and Ethereum are trading for $20,800 and $1,624 respectively. With that being said, let's continue with the video.
And I think that's partly due to you have some consolidation going on because you have people buying for currency issues with, we know the dollar has been ripping higher and crushing a lot of currencies. So that's giving it a little bit of a bid. And then you also have sellers that are still unsure about it. There's lack of regulation, there's lack of clarity. And so it's kind of this midpoint. And when you get a sleeping chart, it basically means buyers and sellers are equaling themselves, right? They're equaling each other out, and that's keeping price in a really, really tight zone, essentially.
The reason why Bitcoin has been trading in a range for this long is because the US dollar has been strengthening, due to which risk-on assets have had difficulty in performing well. This has increased market uncertainty, due to which both the buyers and sellers are holding back.
The craziest thing is that you have the stock market way wilder than crypto.
Absolutely.
You have currency markets, which almost never happens, wilder. Bond markets wilder. And here you have crypto just going nowhere. But what happens is when these things go to sleep, when they wake up, there's a mega move. And so that's the question, is which way is it going to go?
The crypto space has been very calm, while all other financial instruments have been extremely volatile. Gareth believes that when this happens, it is usually an indicator that a big move is going to happen soon, just like we are seeing right now.
But I think in the near term, I'm looking for actually a move up, probably to 25,000, which from here would be a nice chunk of change. But eventually, reality is going to set back in, and I still, unfortunately, don't think the lows are in yet.
Gareth has a price target of $25,000 in the short term, but that doesn't mean that his midterm outlook of a 12 to 13K Bitcoin has changed. He still thinks that Bitcoin will ultimately go lower before bottoming out.
So S&P right now into the midterms, we've talked about how you likely get this little bit of a bid.
Yeah.
We saw the Wall Street Journal article that just came out, I think it was last Friday, talking about how the Fed may raise 75 basis points and then pause. And the market just loves that because it's the first hint that the Fed is wavering. We've seen housing data, that was very, very weak. The markets love that. The dollar started to come in. So all the things are working for the market to lift into the midterms. And then what I'm concerned about is after the midterms, how does the economy look and how do things start to slide?
With the next Fed meeting right around the corner, it looks like the Fed is going to increase rates by an additional 75 basis points, which although is a bad thing, but the markets are already prepared for it. With the US dollar showing signs of relief in the short term, we could see the S&P 500 perform a little better, but eventually it will crash very hard.
In the near term, VIX is going to head lower, but I think the VIX still has a long upside move in 2023. And so you have to think about it like this, is we're entering this unprecedented period where investors, remember, think about how many new investors came into the market over the last 5 years or so. They've never experienced a prolonged bear market. So it's going to be one that tests their kind of ability to just stay with the trade, stay with the investments in light of all the negativity that they're going to hear about an economy that is going to be stuck in a recession for potentially a long period of time. And I've gone on record, and I said it yesterday in the speech, that I think we don't see new all-time highs for 10 years in the S&P.
We haven't had a bear market in the past 5 to 6 years almost, and there's a big number of new investors who have never been in a bear market before. This all adds up really fast, which is why the overall market sentiment is affected adversely. Gareth believes these factors could result in us not seeing new highs on the S&P for the next 10 years.
I think honestly they're going even a little too far, and I've said that before.
Yeah,
that
you have.
They're front loading this because they're reacting instead of kind of foreshadowing or kind of looking ahead. And they're reacting to the fact that they were late, they were wrong on transitory and all these things, and so they're overcompensating. And I really worry that at some point the consumer's going to run out of money. We paid, so many people paid down their credit cards and everything. Now they're starting to build that back up. When that stops and they don't have that money anymore, the economy's going to take a big dive.
As the Fed is making it difficult to borrow money by increasing rates, it is a matter of time before a lot of people start to fall short on their monthly payments and fail to maintain their current lifestyles. As soon as this starts to happen, we will see somewhat of a domino effect and the economy will tank.
Yeah, so there's always really good opportunities out there in bull and bear markets. And so something like Meta makes sense to me. Everyone's hating on it. Everyone's saying, you know, they're spending too much money on the metaverse. And so that what that does is it creates this negative kind of vibe going into their earnings coming up. And just overall, people's expectations are so low. And we've seen price come down, I think 65% off of its highs. So something like that where it's now trading at a forward PE of 10, it makes sense in this type of environment. And expectations are just so low.
A bear market also brings plenty of opportunities, and one of them, according to Gareth, is Meta. Since its image has been tarnished as it's trading for 65% lower than its all-time high, people are sleeping on its earning potential, and as soon as its earnings reports come out, it could make a huge move to the upside if it's positive.
So Netflix has had a monster move, number one, right? I mean, from $160 now to $280 or so. So I mean, that's a huge move up. But remember when it was down at the lows, everyone was writing it off. Oh, Netflix content stinks. That's what people need to look for. If you're an investor out there, you need to look for quality names that everyone's now turned super negative on, and price has then gotten crushed because of it. So at this point, I'm not buying Netflix because it's rallied way too much. But I am looking at names like Discovery, the HBO Max combination, as well as Paramount, because those are still trading at very low valuations.
Stocks like Netflix are a prime example of why you should look into companies that are being trash-talked by investors, because the opposite happens most of the time. It has had a massive rally to the upside even though people were complaining about it not producing quality TV shows. However, Gareth says he will not be buying into it at this point as it has already gone up tremendously, but he will look at some other competitors like HBO's Discovery and some other streaming platforms.
So far I've been right. It's been the best performing. In terms of dollars, it's still down on the year, but just a little bit. But for me, I'm still going to go into 2023 still thinking it's going to be the best performing asset. All right, now this one's harder because Bitcoin is close to the lows, and a simple bounce on Bitcoin could be 30%, which is hard for gold to do. But I still think Bitcoin will head down towards 12, 13, maybe sub 10, and I think gold is getting close to its meteoric run.
Gold has been the best performing asset so far this year, and Gareth expects it to continue to do so. It has also outperformed Bitcoin as it held up really well.
Yeah, so I'd stay away from the juniors right now and go to the quality names like the Newmont minings. But I do think as inflation comes down, those are going to be the ones to pick it up. As gold goes up, you're going to see those really rebound. Because if you look at the miners, they've been cut almost in half, a lot of them. And so there's a lot of value if inflation comes down. Because remember that the miners got crushed not only because gold wasn't going up that much, but inflation, all their input costs were going sky high. So they got smoked, but that should improve.
Why wouldn't you just go shopping now for some juniors that are so cheap?
I just worry about where their balance sheets are. I'd have to look at their overall stuff, because mining costs aren't going to come down. They're just going to stop going up further and further. And I just want to make sure they can survive.
Gold miners have been getting crushed lately, but now it looks like they could be seeing a rally in the near future as inflation starts to come down. Because of inflation, their operating costs were through the roof, coupled with the fact that gold has lost some of its monetary value.
So I do like Cardano right now. I do like a little bit of Solana short term, Avalanche, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I think all of those in the near term are quality, and I think you'll get a pop. But I do worry about the longer term. I think if you're a long-term investor, you focus on best of breed, which is Bitcoin.
Gareth mentions that he likes Cardano and Solana in the short term, as they could have a huge move to the upside as soon as Bitcoin starts to trend higher on a bigger time frame. However, according to him, the best choice for a long-term investor is still Bitcoin and Ethereum, as they are the oldest and biggest cryptocurrencies that aren't going anywhere. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you can keep watching informational content like this on a daily basis. See you guys in the next video.